Before I start, I want to give all honors and glories and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waha, Waka Kodash, Yahweh, which is the one true name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, but his one true name is Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who will well and teach well, because those are men who I learned this truth from through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, and shalom to you sincere brothers scattered abroad, pushing forth this word in truth and sincerity. I am the brother Mashiach Arazakah from the Servants of Yahweh Yahweh Shai camp, Las Vegas, Nevada branch. And pretty much in this lesson, it's going to be titled as the Sabbath. The Sabbath is according to the moon. That's how you determine the Sabbath day. Now, you may have other Israelites that celebrate the Sabbath differently, but according to the scriptures, the Sabbath is according to the moon, and we're going to prove it in this lesson. Now, this lesson is for the sincere brothers and sisters out there that may not know when the Sabbath is, but the Sabbath is according to the moon. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. You have to get a new moon to get a Sabbath day. All right. And this is Genesis 1 and 14. This is where I'll start. Genesis 1 and 14. And Elohim said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years." You see that? So the firmament, which is the three layers of waters, you have outside of the earth. That's the first layer. Then you have the second layer, which is the firmament, which is the sky. You'll look, you can see the stars, the moons, right? The star, the moon, etc. Right? That right there is the second layer. Then you have the third layer of water, which is on the land. So you have the three layers of water, right? That firmament, that's what you see in the sky. When you look in the sky, you see the moon and the stars. All right. So when you look up in the firmament, you're looking into the firmament, you're looking at the stars and the moon. That's what you see, right? In the daytime, you see the sun. You see clouds or the sun. At nighttime, you see the moon and you see the stars. So I'm just giving an example. Got another precept. This is actually I could have went right here. This is Sirach 43 and 5. It says, "Great is the Lord that made it, and at his commandment it runneth hastily." It says he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world, right? Because the moon, it has different phases. When you look in the firmament and you see the moon, the moon actually lets you know what day you in, according to the Bible. So, and according to the scriptures, you're supposed to go by the moon to know what day you in. But in today's society, we use the Gregorian calendar, which, if you don't know what the Gregorian calendar is, the Gregorian calendar is a calendar that everybody uses in America. Everybody has a Gregorian calendar. All right, you get your Januaries, your Februaries, your March, your Aprils, your May, your Junes, your Julys, right, all the way to December. You get your Mondays to your Sundays throughout the week. That's all of the Gregorian calendar. See, according to the scriptures, according to the Bible, you read, it'll say the first day on the 17th. You'll see the first month on the 17th day, or you get the fifth month on the 6th day, or the seventh month on the 18th day, or the seventh month on the first day, the second day. It never says January, February, March, and none of that stuff, because that stuff goes back to the Gregorian calendar. That's off of the Gregorian calendar, which the Gregorian calendar comes from the 13th Pope of Rome, which his name was Gregory the 13th. He created the Gregorian calendar that everybody has. Everybody has a Gregorian calendar, whether it's on your phone, whether you have it on your wall. That's the Gregorian calendar. Everybody has a Gregorian calendar, which that calendar goes back to the 13th Pope of Rome, named Gregory the 13th. And I think it was established in, I think, the year 1528. Brothers can correct me. I think it's 1528 by Pope Gregory. So today's society, they go by the sun and not the moon. But according to the scriptures, we supposed to go by the moon to know what day we in. So like it for the rambling. Verse 7, it says, "From the moon is the sign of feast," and it says the moon It says, from the moon is a sign of feast, Salakia, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. Right. A light that decreases in her perfection. Because you have the new moon. The new moon is the beginning of months. The word month means moon. So if you don't get a new moon, you don't get a new month. What is a new moon? A new moon is a full shaded moon that you cannot see. You can't see the new moon. No, it's not a full moon. Because you got people, they'll teach that the full moon is a new moon. You're going off. The new moon is a full shaded moon that you can't see. All you gotta do is go on Google and put in new moon and you'll see it. The whole entire moon is shaded. You can't see the new moon. You can't see the new moon at all. So again, the new moon is the beginning of months. The word month means moon. So if you don't get a new moon, you cannot get a new month. You can't get a new month. And the only way you're going to be able to get a Sabbath day, which makes the seventh day, is if you go off of the new moon. The new moon is the first day of the month. Is the new month. Then you count 6 days, then you get the Sabbath day. And the Sabbath is going to, whatever the new moon lands, that's what the Sabbath is going to be every week until the next new moon comes in. Verse 8, it says the month is called after her name. You see, talking about the moon. The word month means moon, right? It says increasing wonderfully interchanging because the moon has different phases. You'll see a crescent moon. You'll see a waxing moon. You'll see a full moon. You'll see half a moon. You'll see a moon that's very small. Like it has like a toenail. It's super, super, super crescent. Like you'll see it like it look like a little toenail. Like those are different phases of the moon. The moon lets you know what day you in according to the scriptures. It says being an instrument of armies above shining in the firmament of heaven. The firmament is talking about the sky. And that's how you see it. You see the moon. Right? I got another precept. This is Isaiah 58 and 13. Isaiah 58 and verse 13. And it says, Salakia. And it says, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbaths, see, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways. So when you have the Sabbath, you're not supposed to do anything pleasurable of the flesh on that day. That word Sabbath means rest. Today is the Sabbath. Right now as I'm speaking, it's our Sabbath day for this month, which is Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. But the next new moon that comes in is going to change from that. It's not always going to be Friday sundown, Saturday sundown of every single week. All right. When the next, or every single month even, because when the next new moon comes in, the Sabbath day is going to land on Sunday sundown to Monday sundown. That's going to be the next new moon Sabbath. So the Sabbath is always going to change. It's never always going to be Friday sundown, Saturday sundown, Friday sundown, Saturday sundown. That goes off of the Roman Catholic Church, the Vatican. You get the Friday sundown, Saturday sundown. Now I'm not saying that the Sabbath can't land on that day. Like right now, our Sabbath for this month is Friday sundown, Saturday sundown. But the next new moon that comes in is going to be Sunday sundown to Monday sundown. The Sabbath changes every new moon. Every new moon, which is every new month, the Sabbath changes. The Sabbath can be any day. It all determines where the new moon lands in, pretty much, is what I'm trying to say. It says, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words. See, so you're supposed to delight in the Sabbath day. You're not supposed to do anything pleasurable on that day. You're supposed to keep it to the best of your ability. Now all of us ain't going to be able to keep the Sabbath day. A lot of us got to work on the Sabbath. All of us can't get the Sabbath off. So you got brothers that may have to work on the Sabbath or so on and so forth. That's why we have mercy, because all of us ain't going to be able to keep the Sabbath, especially if we're doing like security or anything like that. You got brothers that got to work on the Sabbath. They can't get the Sabbath day off, So, this is why, again, we ask the Lord for mercy, because we can't get the Sabbath day off. A lot of us can't. This is Psalms 81 and 3. It says, blow up the trumpet in the new moon. You see? Blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our Solium feast day. See? So on the new moon, because the new moon is a Shabbat. We actually have two Sabbaths. You have the new moon Sabbath, which is the new month, and you also have the regular Sabbath, which is going to be every other week, depending on what day the new moon lands on. Because the next new moon, if it lands on Sunday sundown to Monday sundown, that's going to be the Sabbath for the next upcoming weeks until the next new moon come in. It says blow up the trumpet in the new moon, which is a shofar. You're supposed to blow a shofar on the new moon. It says and have a feast day too. It says blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. You're supposed to have a feast on the Sabbath day. You're supposed to have a feast on the Sabbath. You're supposed to have a shofar, and you're supposed to blow a trumpet on the new moon. The new moon is a Sabbath. For those of you that don't know, all right, the new moon is a Sabbath, right? And it says, for this was a statute for Israel and a law of the Most High of Jacob. See, so we are to keep the Sabbath to the best of our ability. All right. Now, we're not going to be able to keep the Sabbath day perfectly because, again, we're under temporal grace and we're not under the laws. We're not bound by the laws. And, a lot of us have to work on the Sabbath. That's what I mean. If it wasn't for the Yahushua giving up his blood, putting himself up as a living sacrifice, it wasn't for his blood, we would be put to death because you got brothers that have to work on the Sabbath. All of us can't get the Sabbath day off. This is why we thank the Most High and we pray, man, because, hey, we're trying to rehearse the righteous acts. We ain't going to be able to keep the laws perfectly, but we're rehearsing them to the best of our ability. All right, this is Isaiah 66 and 23. It says, and it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, right, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. See, so from one new moon to another. So to get the next Sabbath, it's going to be another new moon. And the new moon can be any day. It just determines where the Sabbath can be any day. It just determines where the new moon is going to land. It can land on a Monday. It can land on a Tuesday, a Wednesday, a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, a Sunday. It don't matter. Whenever the new moon comes in, that's going to be the Sabbath for the following lunar cycle, right? So again, the Sabbath can be any day. It just determines where the new moon going to land. And then I got let me wrap this up with Deuteronomy 33 and 14, right? It's Deuteronomy 33 and verse 14. And actually, I can get that right here to even make it better. This is Deuteronomy 33 and 14. It says, and for the precious fruits brought forth by the sun, and for the precious things put forth by the moon. Now, when we go into the interliner of that word moon there, right, it goes into Yarah, which means what?
Strong's H3391. Yerach. Yerach.
And that word moon goes into the Hebrew word Yarah, which means moon, lunar cycle, moon, month, calendar, month. See, that word month means moon. That word moon means month. Month means moon. So when you go into right here, this is to cut it because you got people that go Friday sundown, Saturday sundown of every single week of every single month, Friday sundown, Saturday sundown, but that's inaccurate according to the scriptures because the Israelites, they went by the moon, they went lunar to get the Sabbath day. And for an example, an individual once told me this, and you could just think about it. If you were stranded on an island and you didn't have no device, no cell phone, nothing, no cellular device, no cell phones, no pagers, no radio, nothing. You had nothing, no calendar, nothing. How would you be able to determine the moon? I mean, how would you be able to determine the Sabbath? Salakia, how would you be able to determine the Sabbath? Looking at the moon. That's the only way you'll be able to know is by looking at the moon. So you got to think about that. It says right here, it says a month which amongst the Hebrews was lunar. You see that? A month which amongst the Hebrews was lunar. So to get the Sabbath day, we have to go lunar to get it. You got to go by the moon to get the Sabbath day. So again, the Sabbath can be any day. It all determines where the new moon lands. So let me start from right here. This is Exodus 20 and 8. It says, remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. So when you read this, it's not talking about Saturday, actual Saturday being a Sabbath day. All right. The Sabbath, again, it can be any day. So just like, for example, for this month, our Sabbath is from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. But when the next new moon comes in, it's not going to be Friday sundown, Saturday sundown. It's going to be Sunday sundown to Monday sundown, so on and so forth. All right, so we got to remember the Sabbath and to keep it holy, right? It says 6 days shall thy labor and do all thy work. So 6 working days. So for this month, the Sabbath is Friday sundown, Saturday sundown, right? For this month. So we're gonna work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then have Friday night and then Saturday. But when the next new moon comes in, which will be Sunday sundown to Monday sundown, that's going to be this. That's going to be the new moon Sabbath, and then you're going to have the regular Sabbath, and it's going to be Sunday sundown to Monday sundown. So we do 6 working days, which would be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then that evening of Sunday will be the Sabbath. So we won't do no work Sunday sundown and Monday sundown. That is how the Sabbath. That's how the true way to get the Sabbath. That's the true way to get the Sabbath. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. So 6 working days, right? Verse 10, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt do no work. So you're not supposed to be working on the Sabbath. But that goes again, like I said earlier, all of us ain't going to be able to keep the Sabbath day holy because we have to work on the Sabbath. You got brothers, we got boss right now. We tell our boss, oh, we ain't going to be able to work. He going to fire us. He ain't going to let us keep our Sabbath day. All of us can't get the Sabbath day off. You know, that's why we have grace. That's why we're under temporal grace. It says thou neither thy son nor thy daughter, thy manservant nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. Verse 11, for in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. So there you go. We are to keep the Sabbath day holy. But again, all of us ain't going to be able to keep the Sabbath day holy. You know, that's why we pray, we ask the Lord for mercy and forgiveness because, it's hard to keep the Sabbath day here in Babylon. Esau don't give a damn. He wants you at work. But to get the Sabbath, again, going back to that point, the only way for you to truly get the Sabbath day is according to the moon. Amos 8 and 5, it says, saying, when will the new moon be gone? That we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making ephah small, and the sickle great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. You see that? So the Sabbath, you have the new moon, and then you have the Sabbath. So you have the new moon and the Sabbath. You get two. We actually have two Sabbaths. You had a new moon Sabbath, 6 working days, and then you get the Sabbath day, which would be the following. So if this new moon lands Sunday sundown and Monday sundown, that's going to be the new moon Sabbath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll be the following Sunday sundown to Monday sundown. That'll be the regular Sabbath. Then the following week after that, Sunday sundown, Monday sundown. And the following week after that, Sunday sundown, Monday sundown. All the way until the next new moon comes in. Then the next new moon comes in. It could be Monday sundown to Tuesday sundown. That's going to be this next lunar cycle all the way down to the next new moon come in. Tuesday sundown, Wednesday sundown. You're going to be the whole thing all the way down. Then the next new moon. See, so it's like that. That's how it goes for the lunar cycle. All right, so hey, I ain't gonna stand too long on this subject. We proved it again. The Sabbath is according to the moon. That's the true way to get the Sabbath day is according to the moon. And I want to prove it, ending it with the secular history. And we're gonna go into so like I was doing a previous video, but I want to get this out right here. What I want to put in. Yep. Satanic origin, right, of the Gregorian calendar. Gregorian calendar, all right? Now, anybody can look this up. This is the satanic origin of the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar, again, is a calendar that everybody uses in America. That's the Gregorian calendar, right? So if you see it, see, Gregorian calendar created by Pope Gregory the 13th in the year 1582. You see that? It says goal was to update the Julian calendar to have Easter fall on the vernal equinox, March 21st. And if you want to get deep into it, it goes into the secular history. All right, so a lot of stuff is popping up here, but when you go down, it goes into that. You see that? What Sunday means? All this stuff is popping up. what Sunday means. You see that? What Sunday means. Sunday means, see? What Monday means. What Tuesday means. What Wednesday means. There's a lot of ads popping up. What Thursday mean. What Friday mean. See, Saturday. And then you get January. What January means. Look, January, March. It's a lot of ads. April, May. See that? So the Gregorian calendar, again, the Gregorian calendar, that's the Gregorian calendar. I don't know why all these ads is popping up. But that's the Gregorian calendar. As you can see, this is the Gregorian calendar. It tells you what the days of the week means in the Greek. You see that? So hey, just wanted to do a little, showing you a little bit of history. But again, to get the Sabbath day, to get it is according to the moon. To get the Sabbath. So hey, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. Till next time I say, Shalom.